What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Friday and welcome to another day of women's basketball. WNBA hoops. We're in the semifinals, guys. Game 3 is happening tonight. We have the Indiana Fever versus the Las Vegas Aces, as well as the Phoenix Mercury versus the Minnesota Lynx. I'm going to be breaking it all down for you. What you all need to know, who's injured, who's healthy, and what you might just expect tonight. Because Quita in the morning, guys, starts now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. And I hope you all have gotten ready because, tonight it's on. It is on. And we're going to talk all about it. This is going to be your recap, or preview, I should say, of Game 3. And y'all, if y'all are listening, y'all like, wait, didn't Quita say that she was going to be doing the Heart of the Fan project on Friday? I did say that. But then last night I thought about it and I was like, wait, shouldn't I be talking about Game 3 instead? So tomorrow at 7:15 a.m., the Heart of the Fan video will be dropping, okay? Tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. I thought that this preview would be more timelier than that, and so I just pushed that to tomorrow, but yeah. All right? Okay, anyway. So yeah, if y'all are wondering that, don't worry. Tomorrow, because there's nothing happening on Saturday. So I think that should be a good day to put it out. But I've gone through the voicemails. Y'all left some amazing voicemails, and I just gotta say thank you. I'm so excited for y'all to hear what others have said. Okay. All right, so we're going to get into the preview, and as we go through this, I do want to hear your comments as we go through. Of course, the headline story is about an injury, but we're going to talk about a whole bunch of more stuff. So yeah. Anyway, let's actually just get started. Let's get started talking about the Indiana Fever versus the Las Vegas Aces, guys. All right, so we are tied up. Today is Game 3. The series is tied up 1-1. And tonight in Indianapolis, Indiana, the Aces are about to try to take care of business against the Indiana Fever. Guys, this is everything that you all need to know about the game. Heading into it, this is going to be one of the biggest nights of the WNBA season. I mean, when we get to the playoffs, especially as we get further into the playoffs, it just means more, right? Game 3, the Fever took care of business on the Aces home court. Game 2, the Aces was like, okay, now we got to get back into it. We need to easily win this game and whatnot. It was definitely a bounce back type of game. And now we are ready for Game 3. It is happening in Indianapolis. Likely the game of the night, the game that probably most people are going to be talking about. Not the only game that's happening yet tonight, and I'm going to talk about the other game that I'm super excited about as well. But yeah, let's get into it. And let's first start off by understanding the setup as we go into Game 3. So let's remember, Game 2. Right? The semifinals, they are a best of 5, right? After after Indiana shocked everybody by stealing Game 1 in Vegas, the Aces punched back, and they punched back hard in Game 2, winning that game and evening up the series. Now, the shift-focused Gainbridge Fieldhouse for Game 3 and Game 4. First team to 2 more wins advances to the finals, y'all. Absolutely wild. So, what went wrong in Game 2, or what went right for the Aces in game 2. So what went wrong for the Fever, what went right for the Aces. For the Aces, what went right was forcing turnovers, guys. Forcing turnovers for Aces buckets. That was a big one. One thing we did see throughout game 2 was the focus on Kelsey Mitchell. The Indiana Fever, this version of the Indiana Fever, go as far as Kelsey Mitchell will carry them. And when I tell you, she was the number one focus of game 2, and the Aces did not let up at all. They didn't let up, right? And I got to tell you, as we head into game 3, the question mark is, has the Indiana Fever figured out a way to... Have they figured out a way to get Kelsey Mitchell open and get her involved early in the action? I think that's something that is a big, big question mark as we head into game 3, right? What exactly is going to be the game plan for the Indiana Fever to get Kelsey Mitchell open? Because if you can get Kelsey Mitchell open and get good looks for her early, maybe that does determine what happens in game 3. But game 2, the Aces focused on Kelsey. They were able to shut her down. They were also able to turn over the basketball quite a bit. And we got to see what they do today, man. We absolutely got to see. In game 2, we saw the Las Vegas Aces force 22 turnovers and scored 28 points off of those turnovers. And so turnovers are going to be a key focus as we go into this game today. We also saw the Indiana Fever in game 2 look a little bit more flat, right? And their shooting was not as good, right? They shot around 41% for game 2, and the Aces, well, they were cooking with gas, and we'll see if that continues in Indianapolis tonight. The matchup to watch tonight is going to be those two players that I have on the screen. It is going to be A'ja Wilson and Aaliyah Boston. I think that's like the number one matchup that is going to be the most interesting to watch tonight. Other things to know about tonight's game. Of course, we got to talk about the key players, right? We got to talk about the key players. You have Aaliyah Boston, who is someone who's going to need to be a big post presence in today's game on both offense and defense, right? She's gonna have to do a lot, right? She has to stay aggressive after a relatively quiet-ish game 2. And also, someone you got to keep an eye on always is Kelsey Mitchell. You know, her scoring bursts are going to decide basically how much the Fever can do, right? Because Kelsey Mitchell, when she's able to start scoring, it leads to more spacing for the rest of her team, and more spacing for her to get to work even more. So Kelsey Mitchell is going to be a key player for the Indiana Fever. Aaliyah Boston is going to be a key player for the Las Vegas Aces. It's all about MV4, right? A'ja Wilson, the 4-time MVP, she is always an X factor, always the X factor for the Las Vegas Aces. As A'ja goes, so goes the Las Vegas Aces. And yeah, we're gonna see how many points she's scoring tonight. Because the Aces need big games from A'ja Wilson from here on out if they want to win the championship. Another player they need a big game from is Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray is the point guard, the engine, if you would, for the Las Vegas Aces. Her playmaking is going to be key, right? In game 2, we saw Chelsea Gray go off with some amazing, amazing passes. And when Chelsea Gray is cooking and when she is controlling the tempo for the Las Vegas Aces, guys, the Aces thrive in that type of situation. So those are some of the key players, but there is a bit of a wrinkle in the Indiana Fever's prospects tonight. And the wrinkle is their injury report. Guys, the injury report has Lexi Hull listed as probable. So she sat out on yesterday's open practice for precautionary reasons, right? But Stephanie White seemed to be kind of hopeful that Lexi Hull will be good to go for today's game. This is a game that the Indiana Fever absolutely need Lexi Hull. Like, if Lexi Hull does not play, it's gonna put the Indiana Fever in a very, very, very bad situation, right? Lexi Hull has been dealing with the back injury. If y'all did not know, she was questionable even going into game 2, right? And she ended up playing through a back injury on Tuesday, and she was still putting a lot of effort for the team and trying to make some stuff happen. And I gotta say, she gritted through game 2. But if you've been watching Lexi Hull all season, this is what she does, right? That is just what she does. She said, quote, I'm feeling sore still, but I think just a ton of treatment trying to get your body as ready as we can be. Part of the playoffs, I think, for everyone, it's the end of the season. Everyone's a little fatigued. Everyone's a little sore. So just trying to go out there and do the best I can. I had a lot of treatment with our trainers. I'm really thankful for them for spending a lot of time with me today, a lot of time with me yesterday, getting me ready for tonight. That's what she said on Tuesday. Lexi Hull she's been gritting it through, right? Y'all remember when she had those 2 black eyes and she was Hey, Lexi Hull is a warrior, man. She is a absolute warrior. Now, while she's probable, I do expect her to play. I would be surprised if Lexi does not play tonight, but she is listed as probable. We also have Damiris Dantas, who is still listed as out. Guys, Damiris Dantas has not made a game all playoff long. She had a concussion, and she has not been back, right? And so I don't know. I'm interested to see, if we ever see her back on the squad this week for the rest of the playoffs. She did suffer a concussion on September the 11th, and has not been able to return back to the team. And so, yeah, that's something to note. So Damiris Dantas is still out with a concussion, and Lexi Hull is dealing with a back injury that she is very much likely to play through. But that's just something to keep in mind as we watch today's game. Patrick says Lexi should have played hockey. I mean, she's definitely tough. Hey, but a lot of these WNBA players are tough, man. They go through a lot of injuries and they just grit their way through it, right? Keeney says back injuries are serious. I just hope they're not pushing it too much. I mean, Lexi wants to play, so she's likely going to play. But I do think that if it gets too much, then she'll just be like, actually, I can't do it. So it's the playoffs, and everybody has to step up a whole lot more and give it all they got. Like, it's different if this was the middle of the season, then yeah, would she even be playing? Maybe not. But it's the playoffs, and so everybody, hey, you got some issues. If there's a possibility of playing without hurting yourself even further, right? Then they play. Quintus says Dantas should be back. She should, but I don't know. I wonder if there's other stuff going on that we just don't know about yet. Because this has been an awful long time for a concussion. This has been. Let's see. Kune says Odyssey might go off. Yeah, she might. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Constance says one thing about Lexi is she's tough. Yeah, and she's definitely strong. Yeah, I mean, dog, like a lot of these WNBA players, like they are strong. All right, and then of course we got the list of players who are just out because they're out for the rest of the season. Caitlin Clark, groin injury. Sophie Cunningham, knee injury. Ari McDonald, foot injury. Sydney Colson, knee injury. And Chloe Bibby, knee injury. So, yeah. Everybody else, they're hurt. No expectation of them being back. But the Lexi Hall and Damaris Dantas news is actually news, right? And so, yeah. Anyway, let's continue on for this game 3 for the Aces versus Fever. The Aces, they have 0 injuries to report, and so that's something to note as well. Now let's kind of talk about what's at stake. So when we're talking about the playoffs, there's always a whole lot at stake, right? There's a whole lot at stake, right? The Fever, in some ways, are kind of playing with house money. Like, you get it? They're at home. They're playing with house money, all right? Here's the thing. The Fever were not even really supposed to even be here in the semifinals. And now they've stolen home court advantage. And so that's a huge one, right? They won game 1. And they have the ability, it's a best of 5. So they have the ability to possibly even close it out without even going back to Las Vegas. So the Fever, hey, you got 3 bites of the apple. You have 3 opportunities to get 2 wins. Right? And they can possibly win 2 straight at home. And so, like, for the Fever, they're looking like they're in a pretty good situation, right? The Aces, well, the 2-time champs, they cannot afford to let today's game slip, because losing game 3 when game 4 is still on the road and you have the massive home advantage that the Indiana Fever have because their crowd is insane and helps to just will this team to win, right? You lose tonight and suddenly your backs are against the wall in Indianapolis. And so tonight is going to set the tone for the rest of the season. Series, I should say. Whoever wins game 3 historically has a massive edge in a best of 5. And it's, hey, who's gonna give it all they have? Who is gonna leave it all out on the court? Right? Is it going to be the home team, the Indiana Fever, and their amazing crowd? Or is it going to be the team on the road, the Las Vegas Aces, that are going to get the job done? Well, I'm excited about it either way. So, here it is, game 3, Fever versus Aces, 7:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Guys, expect chaos. Expect a close battle. Expect it to possibly go down to the wire in the 4th quarter. Expect all of that. And number 1 of all, expect to be surprised. Because in the WNBA, anybody can get got. Anybody. Right? And you just never quite know what to expect. And if you think you know, well, you probably don't know. Right? Because what about all the people who said that the Fever were not even going to be here? Right? What about the people who counted out the Las Vegas Aces when they had a not so great start to the season? Did people anticipate a 16-game winning streak, right? Did they? Did they expect the Indiana Fever to end up taking down the Atlanta Dream? No. And so, like, that's the thing I love about the WNBA. You just never know. But the thing you do know is that you will be entertained. You will be. So get ready, because it's about to be epic. Okay, so that is the Aces versus Fever, and I do want to get your comments in the chat. Who do you think is going to pull out the victory today? Should we do a poll? Guys? I don't know. Would a poll be interesting to see what you all want to do? Yeah, let's do a poll. All right. So, y'all let me know who you got. Who do you have? Do you have the Aces or do you have the Fever? Who do you have? Aces versus Fever. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Okay. And also, guys, just a heads up, I truly think whoever wins the 3-point battle is likely going to win this game. Just saying. The more aggressive team and the team that wins the 3-point battle they might take it. So be cognizant of that 3 ball. All right. Now, with you all putting in your responses in the chat, I do want to move on to the other game 3 that is happening tonight, that I am also very, very excited about. And it involves the Minnesota Lynx versus the Phoenix Mercury, guys. This is going to be a very, very fun game. And this is actually going to be the second game of the doubleheader. All right. Second game of the doubleheader. And so, yeah. So after that first game, I know it's going to be a movie. I know it's going to be excellent. What I want y'all to do is stay up. I know it's Friday. It's Friday night. But, stay awake, because in Phoenix tonight, guys, the WNBA semifinals rolls on with one of the funnest battles that we have seen all postseason. We got the Mighty Mercury versus the dancing Minnesota Lynx. The Mercury and the Lynx are tied 1-1 after a 20-point comeback masterpiece in Game 2. So here is everything you all need to know before the ball tips off in Game 3. So first up, let's talk about what was going on, right? Game 1, we saw the Minnesota Lynx kind of easily flex their muscle and be like, yeah, we're the number 1 seed. We're the number 1 seed for a reason. We're the best team in the WNBA. Let's blow out the Phoenix Mercury. Let's make it happen. And they proceeded to do just that. In the first game. It was not really even a chance for the Phoenix Mercury. They kind of looked good in the at certain parts in the first half, and then it was kind of over from there. But the Phoenix Mercury was like, "Ooh, that didn't feel good. That was kind of embarrassing. We gotta regroup. We gotta play better." And in came Game 2 with a historic comeback. They came back from being down 20 points in Tuesday's game. They were down by 20 and still won in overtime. Shout out to Sammy Wickham. Shout out to Satu Sabli. Shout out to Alyssa Thomas. It was a masterful game, and they got it together, right? 20-point deficit gone, because the Phoenix Mercury woke up and was like, you know what? Game 1 didn't feel that good. We don't want this to be something similar. We need this to go to as many games as possible, and we want to be in the finals. And so they made it happen. So shout out to the Phoenix Mercury on that one. But tonight, I should say, it all shifts. No longer does the Minnesota Lynx have home court advantage. Similar to the Indiana Fever, guys, the Phoenix Mercury have home court advantage, guys. They could finish this out at home. Series is tied 1-1. And so, with all eyes on tonight, we will see what the Phoenix Mercury can do, because they need to put on a show. So I'm not sure why I forgot this graphic, but tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2, we will see the Minnesota Lynx take on the Phoenix Mercury in Phoenix. On the call tonight, we have Pam Ward, LaChina Robinson, and Angel Gray. I actually love that trio. I love that trio. Shout out to them, man. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a very, very fun game. And there's a lot of question marks and people to focus on as we get into it. But yeah, it's going to be a fun movie. I'm just saying, y'all better get your popcorn and you better get ready. Okay. So let's talk about some key players. Who are the key players in tonight's game? Well, talking about key players, and you talking about Phoenix, I mean, first name on my book is the playoff maestro. The playoff maestro, the engine, whatever you want to call her. She's amazing, right? This is someone who showed up big time in game 2, 19 points, 13 assists, 8 rebounds for Alyssa Thomas, right? She's averaging nearly a triple-double in the series, in the season. Of course, it's AT. Guys, remember, part of the reason why the Phoenix Mercury even beat the Minnesota Lynx. Part of the reason why Sammy Whitcomb was even able to make that game-tying three-point bucket to get us to overtime was because of an Alyssa Thomas rebound, right? Right. That's one of those things that is key for this team. She is the person who brings up the ball quite a bit for the Phoenix Mercury and gets everybody involved, right? She makes it happen. And if you foul her, she can't make her free throws. I'm just saying. She can make her free throws. So Alyssa Thomas is definitely the number one person sort of on the board for the Phoenix Mercury. But another player who you gotta worry about constantly if you are going against the Phoenix Mercury, it's Satou Sabally, guys. Satou Sabally, the unicorn, 24 points, 9 rebounds. She had 5 3-pointers made in game 2. The fourth quarter, she went off, knocking down several 3-point buckets, right? She's going to be absolutely huge. One of the things that Satou Sabally does is she rebounds quick, right? In game 1, she didn't play well. She didn't at all. Played pretty bad, actually. And in game 2, she was like, nah, not again. Not again. We're not having 2 bad games in a row. I'm about to come out here and make some stuff happen. The question is, as we head into game 3, what version of Satou Sabally do we see? Are we seeing a game 1 version of her where she was ineffective? Or are we seeing a dominant game 2 type of result from Satou Sabally? I think the sort of issue is that we all know how great Satou is. I'm just interested in what version we are going to get. Like a very consistent Satou Sabally and Alyssa Thomas, I mean, that's looking like a pretty good WNBA Finals team right there. The key is consistency for Satsu Sabali. But if she can get that tonight, yeah, I think that's going to be huge. Absolutely huge for the Mercury. Now, talk about the Mercury key players. We got to talk about the key players for the Minnesota Lynx. And, of course, I got to start with their PG, Courtney Williams, who has been pretty steady in this series for the Minnesota Lynx, right? So far, 43 points in the series, 16 assists, 15 rebounds. We all know her as the mid-range assassin. She is amazing, right? When Courtney Williams can get going, she's great. But at times, she can get some turnovers. And at times, we could see the Minnesota Lynx play stagnant basketball sometimes when she's on the court. And so there's a question mark of, can we get still the scoring version of Courtney Williams, but can we also get a little bit more facilitation? Can we get a little bit more facilitation? Because turnovers are going to be a huge issue for the Minnesota Lynx. Right? And in a lot of ways, Minnesota starts and stops with Courtney Williams. And so to me, that's going to be a key thing that I'm looking for today. I'm looking to see how Courtney Williams shows up in this game. Right? How effective is she in the half court sets? And how can she limit turnovers? In game two, the Minnesota Lynx had 18 turnovers. They conceded 21 points off of those turnovers. And, that's not a good stat. It's not really a good stat. 7 of those turnovers were done by Courtney Williams. That's why I'm focusing specifically on this. Courtney Williams, fantastic scorer. Again, mid-range assassin, can get those passes in, but can get a little bit sloppy with the basketball at times. And so that's something that has to be cleaned up if the Minnesota Lynx want to make it out of Phoenix, or actually just close it out in Phoenix with the dub and going to the finals. Courtney Williams is going to be a key player for that. And then, of course, when talking about, when we talk about the Minnesota Lynx, we of course got to talk about the best player on the Lynx, which is, of course, Napheesa Collier. Now, Napheesa Collier is someone who needs to have a masterful game in game 3, right? We all know what Napheesa can do. We all know how great she is. However, her team really, really needs her tonight. Right? This is one of those things where this might be a situation where Minnesota, especially if the guards can't really get going like that, you need Napheesa to score 28 plus in today's game. And in the games going forward. Because yes, this is a great system that Cheryl Reeve has with the Minnesota Lynx, but this is a system that is missing a key piece in the system. And her name is Dejanay Carrington. She's sitting on the bench. She's out for the rest of the season. And so you don't have a big bench. You got Jessica Shepard, you got Natisha Heidemann, and you got Maria Klundakova. But Maria might not end up playing much in game 3. So you really need the starters and your best player to go off as much as they can, because you got a thin bench, a very, very thin bench, right? It's going to get better next year because remember, the Minnesota Lynx do have the Chicago Sky's first round pick, which could end up being the number 1 pick in the draft. And so they're going to get deeper next year, but this year they are dealing with a light bench. And so because of that, yeah, you need your best player to be the best player. And that is Napheesa Collier. So let's talk about matchups. When we talk about the Minnesota Lynx and the Phoenix Mercury, there's matchups to be made, right? There are absolutely matchups to be made. We have the matchup of, actually first I want to do, we have battle of the playmakers, right? You got Alyssa Thomas, the best passer in the WNBA this season, right? Going against Courtney Williams, right? Both of these point guards are really good, and both at times can get turnover happy. And so it's a battle about who can get their team going the fastest and actually sustain it over the course of the game, right? Another key battle is the battle of the stars, and Alyssa Thomas is back in this one, right? Right? Because Alyssa Thomas, you know, is someone who has made it tough for Napheesa Collier in game 2, right? Remember, Napheesa Collier had the ability to make a buzzer-beating shot to win the game in regulation for the Minnesota Lynx. But Alyssa Thomas was guarding her. She made her life hard. And boom, she missed. We go to overtime. And then, you know, of course, you know, you lose, right? And so now we're in game 3. Alyssa versus Napheesa. What in the world is going to happen, right? You got these two stars. Now, of course, they're not going to necessarily go pound for pound in terms of like scoring. Like I'm pretty sure Napheesa is going to score more points than Alyssa Thomas. But Alyssa Thomas, she is a huge impact player, right? And so I think that's going to be a really awesome battle as well. Figuring out like what's the point differential between the two, and also point and assist differential between the two, and then of course looking at the rebounding front as well. Another thing that's going to be important is the 3-point battle, right? It's going to be a battle of the threes. Satou Sabally versus I'm gonna put Satou and Sammy Wickham. Satou Sabally and Sammy Wickham against Kayla McBride and Bridget Carlton. Right? I think that's going to be really, really fun to watch. Here's the thing. In game 1, the Phoenix Mercury were bad at the 3. They struggled to shoot from the 3. I think they only made 3 3-pointers in game 1. In game 2, 13. Especially in that second half, the 3-point bucket was huge for the Phoenix Mercury to get that win, right? If Satou Sabally and Sammy Wickham stay hot, guys, the Phoenix Mercury are super dangerous coming into game 3. And so we got the battle of the playmakers between point forward Alyssa Thomas and point guard / combo guard Courtney Williams. We got the battle of the stars, Alyssa Thomas versus Napheesa Collier. And we have the battle of the threes, Sammy Wickham, Satou Sabally versus Kayla McBride. And basically everybody else on the Mercury, on the Lynx, because they can all shoot. So can the Mercury. But yeah, those are like my matchups that you all have to kind of keep your eye on today. And I would say the sort of X factor in this game is going to be the X factor, which is the home crowd for the Phoenix Mercury. Can the Phoenix Mercury feed off of their crowd's energy, I should say, or will the Lynx shut that down? We'll see. The stakes are very high. It's tied. The series is tied 1-1. Tonight's winner controls their destiny in the semifinals because Game 4 is also in Phoenix. So if the Phoenix Mercury can win tonight, well, it makes the game on Sunday a lot easier, I would say. A lot easier. If the Mercury are able to get this win, I mean, close it out at home. But for Minnesota, this is a game where they got to prove that, yes, We are the best team in the league. We have been all season, and we still are for the playoffs. Can they knock down Game 3 and Game 4 on the road? We'll see. If you're a Phoenix fan, you're all about comebacks, right? You believe that this comeback is the start of something bigger, maybe even finals worthy. If you're the Lynx, you're thinking, oh, we're the best. We need to make everybody remember that we are the best. So, guys, we have the stage set for tonight. The stage is set. We first have the Minnesota Lynx versus the Phoenix Mercury happening at 9:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2. And then we have the Aces versus the Indiana Fever happening tonight at 7:30 on ESPN2. It should be fun. I'm excited about it. We have had a amazing WNBA playoff so far. And I'm excited to see what to expect. I don't know. Who takes the upper hand in these games? Drop your predictions in the comments below. I'm very much curious to hear what you all have to say. Do we have Phoenix Mercury magic? Do we have Minnesota Lynx domination in the desert? For the Aces, do we have the I couldn't think of it like a Vegas, I was trying to think of like a witty thing to say about Vegas in Indiana, but I can't think of anything. Because I was gonna say like, oh, are the slot machines working in Indianapolis? But that's, I mean, gambling is outside of Vegas now, so it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, these are the things I think about when I figure out what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm trying to think about what in the world can I make some interesting comparisons? Can I say something that's like funny and stupid? But anyway, can the Aces get it done? Can the Aces get it done in Indianapolis, or is this a magical moment for the Indiana Fever? Is this a, might I say, Cinderella moment for the Indiana Fever? Curious to hear what you all have to say in the chat. All right, let's finally close the Aces versus Fever poll. So it looks like 59% of you all are saying that the Aces will win tonight. 41% are saying the Indiana Fever. Okay. All right, so according to the awesome people of the internet, we are saying that the Aces will win tonight. Okay, interesting. So now I want to ask, who do you have when it comes to Phoenix versus Minnesota? Okay, who you got? Mercury, or do you got the Lynx? Who do you have? Okay. Yeah, Marty, as AT is a point forward. She's 1 of 1. She is 1 of 1. Yeah, she is. Absolutely. Peg, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, do they have the chips? Oh. Do the Aces have the chips to withstand Indiana's? I don't do gambling, so I have no idea what I know like you have chips and you put them. Are the Aces putting all their chips out on the table? And will they win the pot of money or whatever? I don't know, because I've seen like movies or whatnot where they have the chips near them and they push it in and say all in. Are the Aces all in with their chips? It's clear I have no idea. Oh man. Rotu says, from a storyline, the Fever will win and it will be the WNBA story for the next 3 seasons. I tell you, if the Indiana Fever win, man, we will not hear the end of it for the next 6-7 years. We will not hear the end of it, and as we should. I mean, that would be a massive victory, massive victory. I know I was so close, but yet so far away. so close, but yet way far away. Okay. But I do want to talk about a couple of other things that I didn't actually get to. So while I talked about key players and important stuff like that, I do want to just talk about real quick who else needs to step up, because if you are the Indiana Fever, you need a lot of players to step up. Okay. Number one, we already talked about Kelsey Mitchell. We already talked about Aaliyah Boston. But if Lexi Hull plays, which she's listed as probable, it's and also from what they've said, it seems likely that she's gonna play. But if she does play, you need you need Lexi Hull to give you all she has, right? Meaning, you need close to at least 12 to 17 points from Lexi Hull. You absolutely do. Right? You need Odyssey Sims to be Odyssey Sims. Right? We all know Odyssey Sims is a bucket, but we need Odyssey Sims to go off scoring wise. We need her to continue to be a facilitator for her team and figure out ways to get Kelsey Mitchell good looks. That's what you need, right? Because Odyssey Sims can get you 20 points. But you don't just need Odyssey Sims to get you 20 points. You need Odyssey to get you 20 points, and you also need her to run a offensive system as the PG that gets Kelsey Mitchell open. Because if Odyssey's scoring 20 and Kelsey Mitchell is at like 25 plus, it's a new day. It's a new day for the Indiana Fever, right? It's a new day. You need Natasha Howard to crash the boards. You need to crash the boards. I'm not giving a number value on Natasha Howard, because to me, the most important thing she needs to do is crash the boards and play defense. That's the most important thing. Right? And then when we go to the bench for the Indiana Fever, we need to see Brianna Turner continue to be the defender and rebounder that she is. But we need to see offensive production from Aerial Powers. For Aerial Powers, it's not enough to play defense. It's not enough. They need Aerial Powers to be a scorer. They need her to be a scorer. That's something that's going to be so important. Now, for the Las Vegas Aces, Nalissa Smith, do exactly what you did in game 2. Exactly. How assertive you were in the paint, that's what you need to do. You need to remind the Indiana crowd how good you was when you played with them, right? Especially in your first and second year, right? That's what you need to do. Do exactly what you did in game 2, with maybe a little bit more rebounding. Just saying. Right? And then for everybody else, you need Megan Gustafson to knock down shots. You need Jewel Lloyd to play smart and get three-point baskets to go. And you need Dana Evans to play basically exactly like she did in game 2. Right? That's what you need. So if I'm the Aces, I'm like, hey, Dana, we need you to step up. We need you to step up and do exactly what you did in game 2. Nalissa Smith, you are amazing. Continue to show people that you are amazing, right? And then just kind of go down the line from there. For the Minnesota Lynx, in order for them to win, hey, you got to focus on Natisha Heidemann and having her come in the game and give some quality minutes for the Minnesota Lynx. We all know Natisha Heidemann is an amazing player, but in game 2, Natisha Heidemann gave 0 points for the Minnesota Lynx. You need Natisha Heidemann to show up and show out, right? A huge reason why the Minnesota Lynx lose is because they have 3 points off the bench. 3 points. And that was from Jessica Shepard. You need Natisha Heidemann to go off and be very effective off the bench. And you also need Jessica Shepard to look for her points as well and to make an impact. Right? You need Bridget Carlton to look to score early in the game. BC is a good three-point shooter. She can knock them down. But you need her to get going early. You need Alana Smith to stay out of foul trouble. And then for the Phoenix Mercury, it's like, hey, we already know that Alyssa is going to be Alyssa. We need Satu Sabli to be the consistent Satu Sabli that we like, right? We need Monica Cole-Makani to not just look to pass, but look to get into her own rhythm, especially with those handoffs from Alyssa Thomas. We need her to knock those shots down. Oh my goodness, I can't talk today. And most importantly, for the Phoenix Mercury in the starting lineup, we need Kalia Copper to be Ka. Go into the bucket, making those crazy jelly layups, and making some stuff happen. And off the bench, DeWanna Bonner, where you at? DeWanna Bonner, where are you? She does play a good decoy for the Phoenix Mercury, because you can't never really leave DeWanna Bonner alone, because you know she can knock down shots. Has she been knocking down shots lately? She has not been knocking down shots lately. She has been pretty ineffective. But from a decoy standpoint, she has been good. From a decoy standpoint. But you just can't be a decoy for forever. Not for forever. Like, you can't just continue to be a decoy. They're going to eventually just stop guarding you. And you need to knock down shots. And you need to be effective. DeWanna Bonner has gotten some good looks. We all know DeWanna Bonner is a really, really awesome player. And we all know that a lot of Indiana Fever fans are still mad at DeWanna Bonner. So DeWanna, why don't you show up today in Indianapolis and be like, I heard y'all was talking about me. Let me remind y'all how good I am. Like, I'd say that'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious if she decides to, hey, you in Indianapolis, you gonna get booed basically every time you touch the ball. So why don't you be like, boo right back. Here's this 3 on your face. Boo right back. Let me get to the basket. Right? And of course, not just score, but get those critical rebounds, DeWanna. Which she has been doing. She has been doing that. But you need more offensively from DeWanna Bonner. So I'm just saying, DeWanna, if there's any time to do it. Oh, why did I get confused? Oh my goodness. I tell you, everything is like meshing up in my head. Yeah, they're playing in Minnesota. I was thinking, I don't know. Anyway. That lets me know that I did not get much sleep at all. Because everything just meshes up in my head. Yeah, DeWanna's not playing in Minnesota tonight. She's playing in Phoenix against the Minnesota Lynx. LL Kude says, Kude need a nap. I do need a nap. And I just woke up. Oh my goodness. But yeah, maybe, maybe it is going to be Phoenix versus Indiana. I'd say that. If it is, I would love it. I would love it. But DeWanna Bonner really needs to go off, though. Like, you really do need more from DeWanna. Like, you really do. You really do. But anyway, that lets me know I got to go. Oh, man. That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. I tell you. Yeah, maybe it's predicting the future. Bare Minimum says happens to all of us. It does. It does. Ooh, Doge says Sammy Whitcomb Finals MVP. Okay. I think that could be fun. I think that could be fun. All right. Anyway, I gotta go. That's my clue that I can't take a nap. Actually, I gotta go to work. But yeah. Nalissa Smith, same thing. Yeah, same thing for Nalissa Smith. You are going back to Indianapolis. Remind them who you are. Okay, remind them who you are. Now, Nalissa's not gonna get booed, but Dewana would. But Nalissa's not gonna get booed. But yeah, Nalissa Smith, yeah. Remind them how good you are. Okay? Remind them how good you are. Because you're an amazing player. Right? Chris says, Quita, we all have a slip-up moment. That's part of being human. We still love you. Thank you. Salute to y'all. Salute to y'all. Kentucky says, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Yes. All right, anyway, I gotta go. Gotta go to work. No nap. Maybe I'll try to take a nap at lunch. I don't know. Because I gotta be up really, really late. And if I'm already tired and like right now, how in the world am I gonna stay up until darn near midnight tonight? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, y'all have a good one. As always, guys, tell somebody that matter. Tell somebody that they matter, that they're important, because they are. And if no one has told you, let me tell you, you matter. You're important, and I am very, very happy that you are on this earth, guys. Thank you for rocking with me today. I love you. Thank you for rocking with me and just showing me support, even when I have mental lapses. But guys, most importantly, guys, Jesus loves you and he wants a relationship with you guys. I will talk to y'all tonight. Me and Mama will talk to y'all tonight as long as I stay awake. All right. After the Fever versus Aces game first, me and Mama will do a quick 15, 30-minute wrap up. And then after Phoenix versus Minnesota, we'll do the same. All right. Y'all have a good one. And I will see y'all in the next one. Let me find my end broadcast. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set.